So I know I can't be the only one who's ever taken a break from art and then has gotten back to it only to realize they're a bit rusty. So in this video, I want to go over 5 exercises that I do to kind of warm myself up after a while of just not doing any art or drawing. So the first exercise I tend to do that I find really helps me is something I actually took from Drawbox. So I mentioned Drawbox in my previous video. I've been doing their lessons to try and get better at my line confidence and drawing confidently. And one of the first exercises he has you do is draw multiple lines in multiple directions. So basically what you want to do is you want to put 2 dots on the paper, any distance you want from each other. The longer, obviously, the more challenging, but you want to ghost from the first dot to the second dot and then go back to the first dot and then ghost into the second dot. You don't want to like ghost back and forth. And then you want to draw the line, and you want to do this movement from your shoulder. He goes into a lot of detail in Drawbox, so if you are interested in doing his lessons, I'll provide a link to the Drawbox website in the description. Basically, why I like this is it teaches you to draw clean lines, and it also kind of reminds you to draw from the shoulder, which drawing from the shoulder gives you way more range of movement than drawing from the wrist or the elbow, which is what we tend to default to. It also makes us think about our lines before we draw them. The ghosting method for one thing, as well as looking at these two dots on the page that you want to connect. So the next warm-up exercise I have for you guys is called the pure or blind contour drawing. Now, some of you may be familiar with this if you've taken beginner drawing courses, especially at the college and high school levels. I've actually been exposed to it on several occasions, which have been, in the beginning, I didn't really enjoy it, I'll be honest, but now I actually kind of enjoy doing the blind contour drawing because it's always interesting to see how close you are to the actual image or object you're drawing. So basically what you want to do here, and you can use a pen or a pencil, I just tend to default to pen. For this exercise, you're going to look at an object, not at the paper or your hand. And the whole time you are drawing this object, you are not to look at your paper or hand that's drawing. In this image, I drew my water bottle, which I'll post a picture right here so you can kind of see what it looks like. And it's nice because it basically teaches you to really study what you're drawing. So the purpose of this is really to kind of draw slowly, which I'll admit I didn't do when I was demoing this exercise. I do much slower drawings when I do it for myself, but I just didn't want to torture you guys with how long it would take me to draw. But you really want to draw slowly. Like your pencil should be moving at the speed of your eyes. And this is how you get an accurate drawing of the object. Over time, our drawings tend to get closer and closer to the object we are trying to draw. And you can do anything. You don't have to do an object. You can do your hand. I did my profile picture actually for both YouTube and my Instagram is a blind contour drawing of my face. It was actually a homework assignment I did a couple years ago. So you can do it of your face in the mirror. You can do it of a person. You can even use line of action for this, which I'll talk about line of action later on in the video. And you can definitely use pictures for this. So the next exercise is more of an exercise in creativity. Now, you've probably seen this around on YouTube. It's called the Blob Challenge. Quite a few YouTubers have done it, but I believe Casey Golden, who I'm going to link below, and I'll also put it up above, a link to her channel. Basically, what she did in her videos where she does this challenge is she has some shape, some colored shape that she made up on a piece of sketchbook paper or paper, and she colors it in. Some people use highlighter. I use color pencil. Some people use marker. Some people use watercolor. I think Casey Golden uses watercolor. And then what you want to do is look at this picture and think, what does this shape look like? And it can be anything. Even when you're drawing it, you don't have to have something in mind. In fact, it's better that you don't. And the more complex the shape, the more fun I find it is. Like I had a lot of trouble with that big double like circle one. You'll see it in the upper left-hand corner. That was the most difficult, so I saved it for last. So the more complex, the better, because you can play with it more. But basically, this is drawing on your creativity. And I actually was kind of nervous about demoing this one because I don't do it that often. But when I say it like sparks creativity, it does. You start seeing things in a different way, and it forces you to basically think out of the box. The next exercise I have for you is timed gesture or figure drawings, or really any timed drawing, because they all bring something to the table regardless of the subject. So I say timed figure or gesture drawings because that's usually what we think of when we think of those timed like practices. So I did this a lot in high school. We would actually have other students sit and as our model. You can also go online and look up places near you that basically host models and artists. So you can go there. Sometimes you have to pay a small fee and you sit there and draw the model. Sometimes you paint them even too. And usually they get progressively longer. So sometimes you'll start with like a 30-second pose and then they'll switch the pose in 30 seconds and you have maybe a minute to do the next one or 5 minutes to do the one following that. And it's just a really great way to get better at seeing what's the important thing, especially the faster drawings. I feel like you get more out of them because you have to really understand what takes priority, especially when it comes to 30-second and 1 minute drawings, because you don't have much time. So back when I was living up north in New Jersey, I actually went to my father's friend's studio, and he would basically host artists for a small fee. They were to pay the models. So he would pay the models so they would sit there and do different poses and they could draw and paint them. He also provided chairs so you could, lean your sketch pad back against them. And it was really a lot of fun too, because you could walk around and see how other people did with the pose, with the amount that they were given, the amount of time they were given. And his name was Dorian Vahio, and I probably butchered that. I am so sorry, Dorian, if you ever watch this. He's basically a fantastic artist. I'll leave a link to his Instagram and his website in the description box below. He no longer does the live model sessions as far as I know, but he was very kind to me when I was there. And he even gave me a couple critiques, which I really appreciated. So if you want to check him out, I'll have all his info in the description box. Now, some of us do not have access to some place we can go, or for whatever reason, we can't go to a live class and get live models, which is fine. Instead, what you can do is there's this wonderful website called Line of Action. And here we are on their home screen. And basically, you can decide what you want to draw. They have figure drawing, animal drawing, hands and feet drawing, faces and expression drawing, scenes and environment drawings. And if you want a tutorial on how to use this site, they have a 15-minute one that you can do. There's definitely more things you can go through on here and see. They even have recommended books, which I've honestly have not exhausted every inch of this website. So it's something you can totally explore on your own time. But for the sake of what we're doing, I'm just going to say figure drawing. And then you can decide what you want to draw. They have covered and nude models, or you could do both. You can include only female or male or both. I'm just going to click both. Any ages you want, let's just do adults. But they have a huge library. Look at how big that number gets up to, 797 images. And I'm pretty sure it increases. And as you can see, if you want more control over the types of images you're shown, you have to upgrade to a subscription level. I can't recommend the subscription because I've never used it, but it is something I would like to look into. They have 2 kinds of sessions you can use. They have all the same length, or class mode. So class modes kind of warm you up. You choose how long you want the session to go, and then they ease you into longer poses. So just for the sake of seeing what that is, I want to click that. And they also include built-in break times in this class mode. So how long of a class? If you're just warming up, I would say maybe 30 minutes. But if you haven't drawn in a while, or if you're feeling a little rusty, there's nothing wrong with going more. 6 hours is a bit much. I've never done that, but maybe if you want to spend a whole day just really working on your figure drawing or your animal drawings or whatever you want to work on, there's nothing wrong with doing that. So I'm going to select 30 minutes, and here you can see it says 10 poses, 30 seconds, 5 poses, 1 minute, 2 poses, 5 minutes, and 1 pose, 10 minutes. And that will equate to the 30-minute time. And then it'll bring you to a screen. Basically, you can see the timer over here. I'm being timed. I have 22 seconds left to do this pose. And there's 10 more images of this length. You can pause it if you need to, like say you need to get up to go to the bathroom, or you want to cheat, but I wouldn't recommend cheating. You can skip to the next next page, or the next image rather. You can also do the next class session, which I guess means skipping to the images that are only a minute each. You can hide this toolbar even here, and then this is to go back an image. So it's very comprehensive. It has a lot of images that you can use. I definitely recommend it. I'm going to put a link down in the description for you guys if you want to go here yourself. That's pretty much line of action. Another great thing besides line of action are any videos or pictures that you could find on YouTube or the internet. Just make sure if you're posting them anywhere, you credit or link to the original image or video if it's not yours. One thing I used to do was actually, for my personal practice, go on YouTube and look up live feeds of animals or anything like that, because watching the animals move is much better, I think, because it's closer to drawing to life than like a picture. But you take what you can get. It's great practice, and you'll see the images I did here. I did a couple 30-second ones. I did a couple minute ones, 5-minute, and then 10-minute, and they progressively got better. They mostly due to the time constraint becoming less and less of an issue, but I do think it also warmed me up a little bit. So in my first sketchbook video, which I'll link up here as well as in the description box, I sketched for the majority of the video in ballpoint pen, and there is definitely benefits to sketching with ballpoint pen. I definitely think it would be a great warm-up exercise if you do a couple of animals or people or objects in ballpoint pen. And the reason why I say this is because it forces you not to erase. So every line you make is permanent. You cannot take it back. It also forces us to have a lighter hand. I personally draw very heavy-handed, so I used to actually buy pencils that were harder, because no matter how hard I press the pencil into the paper, it would not, make a darker line like a 2B pencil would. So like I gravitated towards like HB pencils and H pencils, but of course it also destroys your paper. So there's that too. But the pen really does teach you how to draw lighter and not press so hard with it. And you have to think about the line before you put it down. So it's a great way to train yourself to do this. The other thing about drawing with a ballpoint pen that I have found while doing it is it makes me draw things a little bit differently, because I know the mark is going to be permanent. For some reason, that just makes me want to experiment more. So, if you look at that drawing I did in the sketchbook video of the poodle, I would have never ever drawn her fur like that or his fur like that. But I said, hey, why not? It's in my sketchbook. I'm using ballpoint pen. Why not? And that's it, guys. Some of my favorite warm-ups to do. They all have their benefits. So if you're feeling a little rusty, or depending on what kind of sketchbook session you want to have or what kind of drawing you want to do, you can really lean into one or the other. For example, if you're going to draw people or animals, I would definitely recommend the timed figure drawing exercise. Or if you're having trouble with creativity, maybe you're having a block of some kind, do the blob exercise. They all have their purposes, so go ahead and try them and let me know which one your favorite was. I'm very curious. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. I would love to come up with some more exercises for you guys to do in the future if that's something you find helpful. Also, if you want to see more videos from me, hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell so you know every time a video goes live. I post every single Wednesday and Saturday, and I have plenty of content planned. If you want to see any of my artwork or my work in progress photos, consider following me on Instagram. I have it linked below in the description box. I also post updates about videos and any artwork I am currently working on. Come say hi. I'd love to see what you guys are working on. That's it for today, guys. Let me know if you end up trying any of these exercises, and hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you Wednesday with another video. Thanks for watching.